guys, welcome. I'm Christine. I'm owner and content creator of bloomingbrilliant.net, where I share educational resources, parenting advice, and of course information about homeschooling. I'm a homeschool mom of two. I homeschool my daughter who's 11 and my son who is 7 right here in Brooklyn, New York, and I love to share our homeschooling journey with you. I just love sharing the information about homeschooling, the joy of homeschooling, giving you guys encouragement and motivation to homeschool, and letting you know that you could do it, because if I could do this, you can do it. So let's get started. Today is our video is all about how to get started homeschooling in New York. This is an update video, actually. I have this video up already, but it's old. It's from a few years ago, and so I just want to redo it because a lot of you didn't like the video because it had background music and I can't get rid of the background music, and a few things have changed because of COVID, so I wanted to let you all know what's up. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm Christine. I have been homeschooling for about, well, over 5 years now, and it's been all in New York, in Brooklyn, and at first it was really stressful and scary, and now it's just like the norm. So I want you guys to take a deep breath, because I know it can be overwhelming, and I know when I started out I was like, oh my goodness, what do I have to do? And is like CPS going to come to the door and take my kids away because I decided to like not send them to school, and it felt like so forbidden. And then I did it. I did what I had to do. I went step by step, and it worked out. So I wanted to be able to share this with you guys. I wanted to be able to hold your hand through it and let you know that it's okay. Nobody's going to come take your kids away as long as you're doing, what's right by them. And, it's all good. Okay? So that's why I'm here. That's what I'm doing. We'll move on. So you need to, so I'm going to have a lot of like templates and things that I'm talking about, and that's going to be in a blog post in the description area. So make sure you check that. So if I say anything about the addresses of where to send things or about the templates, all the information is going to be in a blog post in the description box. So you just click there. You'll get kind of like a transcriptian like conversation through me typing. And then you'll also get like where you could download our letter of intent template, or all the things. So you'll be able to see that there, and also the addresses to where to send everything to. Okay, so I kind of already went over this. I'm looking at my notes because I want to like stay on task and make sure that I cover everything I did in that video plus any kind of changes. So yeah, I kind of went over this, that when I started, it was very overwhelming, and I was like, where do I even start? I felt like really naive when it came to homeschooling, and I did not grow up homeschooled. I grew up in like going to private school, and then I said, I don't want my kid going to private school. One, it was too expensive, and two, I didn't care for the education that I got, and and public school wasn't working out. So I felt overwhelmed when I had to make that decision to homeschool. I'll also go into a whole other conversation of feeling like I was homeschooling kind of like I had to prove myself to everyone, but that's a story for another time. So there was a lot on my plate at the time when I was deciding to homeschool, and had to figure out how to do it all, like how to send in like information and let them all know, and not get my kids taken from me, because I don't want my kids taken from me. I love my kids. Okay, so that was that. The first thing you got to do when you decide that you are going to homeschool is, if your child is already in a traditional school, a public school, or a private school, you need to let the school know. So you could write them a letter, if you or you could just sign them out and tell them that they're not going to be coming back there. You got to sign some kind of document, and that's it. You do that. They might give you some pushback. That's a whole other story too, but for the most part, they'll be like, okay. And right now, with COVID still going around, I don't think you'll have any problems. You just send in your letter of intent, or LOI, as many of us call it, like when we're typing things. Did you send in your LOI? Yes, I sent in my LOI. It's a letter of intent. It is basically just a short little letter to your Department of Education homeschooling sector, stating that you would like to homeschool your child, and you give them some information. So you typically send this in by July 1st. That's what they want. They want you to already have your decision made. So for me, because I've been homeschooling for years now, I would have my letter of intent in by July 1st. For you, if you're deciding today in the middle of January of 2021 that you want to homeschool your child, you can send them a letter of intent now, and that will be okay. You'll just be in the middle of the school year. Okay? Okay. So you send your letter of intent in, and the letter of intent is basically, like I just said, a written letter that you type up on the computer, and you state that you intend to homeschool your child for this school year for 2020 to 2021 for this school year we're talking about. And we have the template again available in the description area. You can download that, and you can use that to just plug in your information and send it on its way now. Well, I'll just continue. Okay. You're also on that letter of intent, you're going to make sure that you include your child's name, their age, their birth date. Okay? That's important. You want their full name, the first and last name, the age that they currently are, the grade level that they're in, that they're going to be considered in, and their birth date. That all needs to be in there. I recommend sending paperwork certified. So you get that green little paper at the post office, and you usually pay like a couple of dollars and get it sent certified. So you could have a tracking. You make sure that they have gotten it, and you have some kind of copy, like, you have some kind of proof that they received it. Also, now this is big for any way that you send it, because things have changed now. I say that I would send it certified, but now I don't even send anything in the mail like that. I don't send it in the mail, so I'll explain. When I first did this video, you were only allowed to send it in the mail. So I sent everything out. I would make a copy for myself that I keep. I have a whole way that I save my children's, like, each year, their, like, letter of intent, their quarterly reports, their end of the year assessments. I do all of that, and I make sure I have a physical copy besides a digital one now. And then I send them a copy, and if I'm sending it through the mail, I have it sent certified. Okay? But with the COVID, things have changed, and New York has gotten, like, they realized, hey, we use computers now, and we got this covered. So finally, they decided to let us send our stuff through the internet. So we just email it. So I'm going to give you the email links and all that, and you could download the files, you could print them, you could fill them out on your computer. It's all good. Really good. Made it really simple. So you got that. I still print out a copy just because I like to have a tangible copy. Like, look, I did this. But I also, and sometimes I fill them out. I print them out, I fill them out, and I scan it. But I have an all-in-one printer because I'm fancy. No. Because I end up using it for my homeschool. So, I could do that. If it's easier for you to just do it on the computer, just type it up, email it. So that's even with the letter of intent. Just make sure you have copies. If you have a regular printer, just print out a little copy for yourself just so you have it. And also keep a digital copy and keep it all, like, for me, I would like to keep it organized so you know exactly where it is at all times. And even if you keep those sent emails, because sometimes they lose stuff and you just want to think. Now, not everything. Now, you're going to feel like, am I supposed to get kind of receipts from them? They do not send you receipts. You can send them an email like, I just want to make sure you got everything. I typically do this sometimes at the end of the year, and they'll tell me if anything's missing, and then I just make sure they have it. I'll be like, oh, I got an extra copy of that, don't worry. And I'll send that over to them. But did you get all that? But that's the way it usually works. Now, when you send in your letter of intent, which you're going to email now, they will send you a reply email. But if you send it in paper, it's really hard because they do so many different things, and it's like we're at the cusp of some things are old, some things are new. So it used to be that you sent in the letter of intent by mail, and then within 10 business days about, or sometimes a little bit longer, I'll say this past year was a little bit longer for things to come, but it's understandable. About 10 days, you get a packet of information. Now this packet now, with the everything being online, they will send you a link where that will have all the links for the quarterly reports and all the regulations and everything that you have to go through. So it's there. It's just done differently. So you'll get that information with all the rules and regulations that you need to know, and the quarterly reports, and the Individualized Home Instruction Plan, or IHIP, which we will talk about, I think, next. And they will send you all that, and you will get it, and you will fill that out and do whatever you got to do and send that back. But that's what you're getting. So you're getting the letter, you're sending the letter of intent, they're getting that, they're sending you the information of the regulations that you need, and the rest of the stuff you need to fill out. Now, this means you're once you sent out that letter of intent, you are a homeschooler. Now, they have to accept your curriculum choices and like your syllabus, but you're a homeschooler, so you can get started right away. You could be going through that deschooling process, whatever. Especially if you're deciding in the middle of the year, I want homeschool. That's great. Congratulations. Woo-hoo. Now you got to figure it all out, and you can do this. Take a deep breath. Send out your letter of intent. Consider yourself homeschooler. Okay? You're there. Now you get your papers. They send you the email back. You get all your papers that you have to do. You read through the things. You could be doing your deschooling process, all of that good stuff. Figuring it out. Filling out your Individualized Home Instruction Plan, or IHIP. So this is the second and biggest thing you need to focus on. And again, it feels really scary and it sounds really scary, but it doesn't have to be. It's basically, like I said, a lesson plan or a syllabus, and it's just a list. Think of it like that. If it's overwhelming you, think of it as this is a list of the books, of the curriculum, of all the little project thingies I picked up when I was like at Five Below or whatever, you know, all those little things that I bought that I said, okay, I'm going to add this as a part of our homeschool, or all the little, everything, all the little things. And it's a place where you can just plug them in, like where they go. So you picked up a science kit that goes in your science section, you know, and you have to meet all these criteria they put on there, and it will get met. Some things can fill up multiple, subjects. So like reading could also sometimes go with English and language arts and spelling and vocabulary. All of it could kind of go together. So you could just repeat things in there and explain how you're teaching it, and that's fine. So you're going to fill out the IHIP. There's another video where I actually sit and I fill that out with you. So I'll try to link to that. And that is usually due on August 15th. Now, if you're doing it in the middle of the year, it's like a few weeks or a week after you got it. You have to send it back. Email again is amazing, so you're able to do that really quick. I mean, you could take your time figuring it out, but you could send it back in a reasonable amount of time, about 15 days later. Okay, so about 15 or to 2 weeks, about 2 weeks later after you send in your IHIP, sometimes longer now, and this still goes out in paper, you will get a little form saying, welcome to your homeschool year. These are the dates you need to know. Also, you'll get like a little Metro card here in New York. And you'll have all the dates that you need to know for the quarterly reports, which I went through how to fill out a quarterly report at the end of last year, at the end of 2020. So I got you. And you can check out that video. And that's pretty much all you need to know. And that's it. It's really easy once you start doing it. So the first year it's going to feel uncomfortable and it's going to be a little rough and you're going to have a million questions, and I mean that's why we're here. You could drop your questions in the comments or send over an email, whatever. Or even if you want some coaching, I got some coaching somewhere. I'll drop the link to that too. But you got support if you need it. But you might feel overwhelmed and uncomfortable, but once you do it that first year, then the next year will be easier, and the year after will be easier, and you'll be like, okay, I could continue doing this. And you'll be the homeschooler that you didn't think you could be. So I hope this helps you guys, especially starting out. And let me know in the comments if you hate this video and if you want me to do it again or whatever. And I will check out the comments and not cry. All right, guys. Have a great day and happy homeschooling.